I'm gonna have to go tell the world exactly what's on the list.
A polar bear. So we're back at it again with another top video. This time it's going to be a top 10 because I just couldn't make it a top 5 because I was going through the list and I was like making a bunch of honorable mentions, and then I was like I could just make a top 10 list with all these honorable mentions, and there's probably even more that I'm not going to mention in this video. So this video is going to go over Batman stories that you can read and get the full story in the size of a comic book. Nowadays, with arcs that can span on for multiple comics or even spanning across multiple titles, sometimes you just want to sit down and enjoy a single comic book and get the full context of it right there, especially if you're like me and sometimes likes to read, well, elsewhere. Anyway, let's get right into this. I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Polar Bear. So there are kind of rules to this list, unfortunately. There will only be Batman stories, as I've said in the intro. The whole story are right there. So this isn't talking about some of my favorite Batman issues, just one-shot stories. It can be any Batman title, whether that be from the main Batman title, Detective Comics, Elseworlds, etc. But all that being said, let's get into our first book. The number 10 spot kind of breaks the rules, kind of doesn't, but I'm going to say it anyways. Number 10 pick is Detective Comics 1000. So the reason it kind of breaks the rules is because the last story leads into the new arc, and you might be wondering, last story? Yes, Detective Comics 1000 is an anthology book with a bunch of modern-day Batman writers on it, like the great Scott Snyder, Tom King, Peter J. Tomasi, Jeff Johns, and even Kevin Smith, of all people. Every story is great and really good, and I enjoyed every single bit of it. Especially, actually, the Kevin Smith story is probably one of the best stories in the book. Tom King's story of getting all the Bat family together to take a picture. Scott Snyder's Batman actually being a detective. It's great. Check it out. That is also our number 10 spot. Our number 9 spot is a weird one because it's more well known for its cover than its story. But number 9 is Batman 423. This is a story of 3 cops going to a diner and all of them telling stories of when they had encounters with Batman. And that's basically all it's there. There's just 3 fun, tiny stories of Batman and how Batman is just one of the greatest heroes. Let's be real here. You, me, Batman's one of the greatest. But yeah, that's our number 9 spot, Batman 423. While the Todd McFarlane cover is mwah, perfect, mostly. It also has great stories in it and beneath the pages. So yeah, check that one out. Number 8 is another weird one because this issue basically has no dialogue, and one day I would love to cover this book, but Batman and Robin number 18 of the New 52, the Requiem tie-in. Yes, technically it's a tie-in, but there's basically no words in it. It is one of the saddest issues in Batman and Robin I've ever seen. It's basically Batman preparing to go on patrol and also going on patrol and realizing that Robin isn't there anymore. Because in Batman Incorporated number 8, he died. It's one of the hardest hitting comics without any words, but if you want an actual issue of Batman and Robin that I really like that has obviously commentary, issue 23 with Nightwing. It also rips at the heartstrings too, and I'll be covering that one later on in a review too, but as of right now, number 8 is Batman and Robin number 18 from the New 52. Our number 7 is a midway point book. It's Batman Rebirth number 1. No, I'm not breaking the rules. This isn't the first issue of Tom King's Batman run. Nay. This is the issue that Scott Snyder and Tom King both did that also reinvented Calendar Man. And is also a great issue where Scott Snyder basically, and kind of metaphorically at least, passes off the torch to Tom King. Now, I mean, Tom King took the torch and ran zigzags with it, but nobody's perfect. Neither is this issue, I guess, which is why it's also number 7. But it is a great issue, and I do like at least the Scott Snyder parts. So, moving on to the next one. At the number 6 spot is Batman 535. This book is from the Doug Moench, Kelly Jones run. This story goes over the story of the ogre and the ape, and is a revenge story of the ogre basically going around and killing the scientists who made him, well, the ogre, and his brother the ape. This story I really like because in the end, Batman shows compassion towards the ogre after everything that he learns about the ogre throughout the story. I actually like this story so much that on Sunday I'm putting out a review on it. That's why I'm not going into too much depth about it, but it's a great story talking about how Batman really does care about the people of Gotham, and it isn't always about punching and beating people into submission like Batman is nowadays. With that being said, that is our number 6. Let's get into our number 5. Our number 5 story is from Batman Gotham by Gaslight. Now, this is the first Elseworld story I've really brought up on the channel, and I haven't reviewed it yet, but really do plan on it soon. I really enjoy this story for a lot of reasons, being such as Mike Mignola's art, but also that this is like a what-if story. What if Batman had fought Jack the Ripper? And I absolutely love the idea, and I absolutely love the story. At the beginning, Bruce returns to Gotham after all his training is done and dons the mantle of Batman, and around the same time, Jack the Ripper has reached Gotham and is murdering. And Batman has to figure out who Jack the Ripper is before the person who is falsely accused of being the Ripper is executed. With that being said, I'm not going to spoil any of it because it's getting a reprint soon, well, a facsimile to be specific, and a sequel in July. And I plan on reviewing it, so, I'll spoil it then. So you'll be caught up when the sequel comes out. But that is our number 5 spot. For our number 4 spot, we have Batman number 23 from the Rebirth run, and that is The Brave and the Bold. I've already done a review on this one, but I'll remain ambiguous on the best that I can. But if you want it spoiled, you can check out the card in the corner and watch the video and come back to this one, or just add it to the queue, or, whatever. I mean, watch time is watch time. But this is written by Tom King and Mitch Gerads, so it's good from that. But the story is about Batman and Swamp Thing, and I always love Batman team-ups, especially when it's with Swamp Thing. After Swamp Thing's father dies in Gotham, him and Batman go out to try and find and discover who the murderer is and seek justice for Swamp Thing's father. This is one of the few stories I really like from Tom King's Batman run. As you may know, it's one of the books that I've signed on my wall. And it's a great story. I think it's a great spot for this story, too. Check it out if you can find this comic in a comic shop. But with that being said, that is our number 4 spot. At our number 3 spot, we have a comic book that might be a little low or a little high, depends on how you look at it. But at number 3, we have Batman the Killing Joke. But this is my personal list, and if you think this list is bad, that's fair. But Killing Joke is the most classic story you'll ever read. This story is about how one day can basically drive anybody crazy, and it's one of the origins of the Joker, but remember that he likes to keep his origin at multiple choice. This is just a great story, and also how Batgirl became crippled, and while the ending is your interpretation, just like the ending of this number. Get it? Because this list is my list. It's up to interpretation. Anyways, our number 2 spot is probably going to be a shocker that it's not number 1, but at our number 2 spot is Batman number 51 from the New 52. The story is great. It's an awesome one-shot written by Scott Snyder and drawn by Greg Capullo. This is actually their final issue in their Batman run, and it's a great ending to their run. This takes place after Super Heavy and the Bloom arc, and it's Batman going out on patrol, and all the power in Gotham goes out. Batman goes all around town trying to figure out who is behind the blackout and who is going to start another major attack in Gotham after everything with Bloom just had happened. He confronts the Court of Owls, looking a penguin, and just scouts around Gotham looking for crime but not finding anything. If anything, he finds Gotham helping each other and making sure it's safe, and Batman gets a night off from fighting, and at the end, the power turns back on, lighting up for a better tomorrow. It's just a great story. That's not a great summary, but don't worry, all of the New 52 will be reviewed on this channel, so you have no worries. I'll cover that, but this is number 2. Let's get into some honorable mentions. Honorable mentions are Batman 251. While I've heard it's a great Batman story, it's one I've never read. I've heard it's good, and that's why I'm mentioning it, but getting a copy of this book or finding reprints of this book is not very popular, especially when the facsimile goes for about $50 on eBay. So, But another one is Batman 700. It's short stories of every Batman, past, present, future, and further future. So it's a good one. Batman issue 52 of the New 52 is also a very good one, about Batman recovering something personal to him he got from Alfred. And Batman Inc. number 5 is just, I really like Damian Wayne as Batman. But with that being said, let's get into our number 1. Now our number 1 may or may not be surprising, but it's Batman 666. I love this story. This is a Batman in the future, with Batman being actually Damian Wayne as Batman, who made a deal with the devil to keep himself alive and basically immortal so he can defend Gotham. It's awesome, and he even has to fight a devil version of Batman. But also, it's one of the first stories I read when I got into comics, and I think it's awesome, again, and I'm going to review it someday, but in the meantime, I'm just going to tell you that it's awesome. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a like and comment what one of your favorite Batman stories is. If you guys like Batman or me, hit that red subscribe button and turn it gray, and don't forget to keep collecting the comics that you like.